Episode 4.
There, I started.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, guys. Appreciate you being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. So today we have Scott Otwell and Chris Knight from Pulseology. And we always talk about this. We just talked about this. Is the whole point of our show is to bring the lifestyle of the Lowcountry, because it's more than just buying a house in this location. It is about embracing this way of life. And one of the things, you're very much a part of our life here, especially with our youngest son.
We are.
Thank you for keeping him busy for us all the time.
That's right. So we're going to dive right in and, you know, let's talk about Pulseology, because one of the things that we love is on your website, you say that you want to redefine quality of life. And that sounds very ambitious. So why don't you share with us a little bit about Pulseology and that philosophy?
Yeah, sure. So Pulseology, redefining quality of life specifically, is definitely a tagline that encapsulates what our vision or what we're looking for. Redefining quality of life, meaning everyone that comes, we have lots of different people for different walks of life that come to Pulseology, whether it's in the morning or afternoon. And it's not about just weight loss or just body transformation. It's more of a place that you can go and change your entire outlook on life. And it's not exercising necessarily just for those things before, but maybe it's just to continue to go up the stairs or to cook dinner or to just move around at the same level that you are today that you can still do in 10 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, do you find that people, is that when they come here, are you having to like bring them to that mindset, bring that mindset to them? Are they coming in looking for that? Do they even know they want that?
I think sometimes it develops. I think sometimes, it might start out that they're just trying to regain a little bit of mobility or, being able to reach something off a shelf. And maybe they come in and they don't have the shoulder mobility for it. But as we have physical therapy and massage therapy and many with personal trainers to help get them from that first starting point, and then maybe their goals change and they want to become something they never thought they could.
Yeah.
Better and stronger.
So it definitely develops.
I think more so that than anything else, because it's the culture that's established there. And so once they get into it, maybe they're coming for one of those reasons, like Chris said. And then after they're there and they experience the other people that are there and kind of feed off of that, then it turns into just something you look forward to each day.
So it's like a community. The community is helping each other.
Yeah. So. And I think that aspect is it's amazing. I don't take it for granted. Sometimes I have to stop and look around and be present in the moment and realize that all these different people, different parts of the country, different languages, but everyone gets along. Everyone, once they come there, they have that same thing in common, that they're all there to get better and fix something, or they all talk about it too.
Yeah.
So they might train for a while, but then some of the time they might stop at the desk and hang out and let them know, hey, I accomplished this, or it might be just talking about the game last week. It's pretty cool.
That's really awesome. Yeah. I mean, to have established a community like that, and like you said, it's goals. Everybody's got these goals, and to help each other, that's fabulous.
Yeah. And I think it's less intimidating, right?
Yeah.
Especially it's not like you're coming in to just get, because you were a power lifter, I think, right? Did I read that back at some point, right? Well, that can be intimidating. If I'm just trying to get some flexibility or mobility.
And I was not a lifter before that, really? Very minimal.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get into it. And I mean, that's a heck of a way to accidentally get into it. But I ended up doing it for 6 years. And I don't recommend that to most people, I think it definitely still taught me a lot. And I'm hoping I can teach people balance. And because I found a balance myself from getting out of that and trying to find a more healthy, balanced fitness, health, wellness lifestyle that helps me in my everyday life. Actually developed some hip issues and stuff that had I not done powerlifting, probably wouldn't have encompassed, but it pushed me through physical therapy and massage therapy and a bunch of different things that I now recommend out to people. So it taught me a lot.
So you just started powerlifting recently. You didn't do it when you were younger because you're already a young man.
No, I started it at 18 or so, and then I did it till I was 24, 25.
Oh, wow.
So,
up in Ohio?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we kind of jumped. Let's back up a little bit and learn a little bit about you guys. Obviously, we'll definitely come back and talk about Pulseology, but because I love where we're going. Your hearts are very similar to ours with the Lowcountry and encompassing kind of what the lifestyle's about. But let's talk about you guys. Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure.
Go ahead, Scott.
Scott, me first. All right. Absolutely.
Because we started talking powerlifting.
And Chris will go all
actually,
day.
before we go
But I
there,
love that. I love this. Yeah.
So let's define the roles too. Like Scott, you're the owner, and you started the business and all that.
He's visionary.
And
Chris does everything.
That's a great kind of like him and me. Chris, I got you.
Yeah, thank you.
Scott, the way you
I
think,
feel
man.
you.
No. Yeah. So on Pulseology as well as ETC.
Yes. What's ETC?
Elite Training Center. So we have the two completely separate entities, but they work synergistically together very well in the same plaza.
Yeah.
Pulseology we've talked about is for all ages, 3 different studios, classes, equipment, all that stuff for adults. And then ETC is for kids. We primarily focus on ages 5 to 12, and then more private lessons up until 18 or so. Athletics being the driving factor for those.
Yeah.
Wow, what gave you the concept on the whole athletics thing? Actually, because just for the record, for those out there listening, our son practically lives at ETC.
That is true.
He loves it.
He loves it, and I've seen him develop. I mean, for a 10-year-old to have his body, the control and the balance and all that stuff, I'm blown away, and I think it has a lot to do with his time there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So like the focus is, I have kids of my own, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're there right there with Charlotte the whole time, and there wasn't anything in this area for that. So we had Pulseology growing. We had other health and wellness businesses going as well. And there wasn't anything in the area for specifically done well for kids specifically. Starting them young, we have the 5 to 8-year-old classes. We have the 8 to 12 classes.
What are the classes exactly?
Yeah. So
like, what do you do
small
in the
group
classes?
mentality. So one instructor, one personal trainer for every 10 kids. Once it goes past that, we have multiple instructors. And it's not heavy lifting or anything like that. We actually rarely use weights at all. It's more about speed, agility, balance, and control of the body. So we have a lot of kids that are high level travel athletes and that kind of stuff. And we also have kids that they just want to do something, or the parents want them to do something, or maybe they're intimidated by sports, and it's just to give them that control or that balance, or at least a healthy mindset that they could take with them. And they're in the classes as well.
And I believe starting them so young, that you're setting them up for this beautiful life ahead, because if we can teach them how to do it properly now, this is our mentality with both our boys. If we do it, you're going to see us do it, but they're not always going to do it because we're doing it. You know what I mean? So when you go to somebody, as a parent, when you go somewhere else and someone's telling them how to do the exercise correctly, they're more inclined to do that. And you're giving them that amazing foundation, the baseline for the rest of their lives.
For sure.
Yeah.
More importantly, like I said, how to do it the right way.
That's the key right there. Because the butt up in the air with the push-ups not working.
Yeah, and I was just something from the outside that I don't know if you probably know it already, but what's cool is I think it's a cool place that they like to come and do that kind of stuff.
Oh, I can attest
that's
to
where
that.
it's important. I think a lot of times if they feel like they're forced into it, or if it's, it's kind of nice that they just like being there.
Yeah.
And all their friends there and the competition. I think you guys foster this community of competition, but it's a healthy competition.
Right.
They push each other.
They do.
And you can see when the text goes out that something's going on ETC, it's like, they're all like, hey, are you going? You're going? And you're right. It's become a hangout. And I could think of nothing better than a hangout in which, developing your skill sets or even just a healthy lifestyle. I mean, I love seeing Shiloh because he's more conscious what you say about some of
fitness
fitness and things like that. Yeah.
And in complete transparency, it wasn't even designed to be like that, or wasn't expected. I thought when we were setting this up, like, this is necessary. They should be doing this. The parents will be able to tell them that they need to do this, and it'll just kind of work out that way because we're providing a quality service. But what ended up happening on the flip side is once they got in there and started doing it, whether we're talking about our workout classes or the parents' night outs or the camps, which are all sports-focused, dodgeball and that kind of stuff, both they enjoy it and they want to come back and they want to do it. We had kids where they were doing like 3 or 4 sports and ETC, and it got to the point where the parents were like, we don't have time for all these things. We can't do it. And it turned in, well, I'm I can't get rid of ETC. I'm going to focus on these 2 sports and use this as my foundation for all of them.
That's
That's awesome.
It's
I
worked
can
out
see
really well.
that. Plus the epic birthday parties we have here.
Oh,
It's
yes.
the best space for it, especially if you got boys, right?
Well, Shiloh's already requesting that his birthday be at ETC again
3rd
this
year in
year.
a row.
Perfect.
No, they do have epic birthdays. And I think what I love the most about it is you guys are so engaged with the kids. I think Matt does a really good job. Connor does a really good job with engaging. And that's why the kids want to keep coming back, you know. So you're really doing an awesome thing for the younger community.
Yeah, and if we can
on the
plug,
island,
I'm
for
actually
sure.
wearing the state champion hat that you host our travel team.
Yep.
Every Tuesday, we come there and train.
Yep.
And they went and won the state championship. So it's a testimony, I think, to the development of the kids. So it's good.
Great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only are you developing a community in Pulseology, which is the older generation, as well as I know in the morning you have younger folks that come in and then the more retirees in the afternoon, but the younger kids, I mean, what an imprint you guys are having on the island.
Generational.
It really is. It's generational.
Yeah.
You know, and Scott and I had a conversation about Shiloh's age group was kind of the first age group that where you guys opened up, and now he's kind of graduating to a different level, right?
Yeah,
so that's
super
going to
cool.
be really cool
it's
for
very
you
cool.
guys to see their transition as we go.
Even my little bits in there, it's kind of cool to not, when I'm not there every day and then I do peek in and I get to see some of these kids, like I notice immediately because I'm not there every day, I think.
Yeah.
But to see their changes over time, especially the ones that are there often,
Yes.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
So let's get back. Sorry, we
Sorry,
kind
we
of sidetracked.
digressed.
Go back to, we got your backstory. Now, Chris, what's your backstory and how did the two of you come together?
So we were both walking on the beach. No, I'm just kidding. So no, so originally from Ohio, like we talked about, Youngstown, Ohio, a small city, Steel City, up in about an hour south of Cleveland. I come from a background of country club fitness, to be honest with you. So that was where I got my kind of start into the hospitality management world. There's a chain of country clubs up there called Avalon's. Avalon has, I think they're up to like 8 locations now, but when I started, it was 1 or 2.
Okay.
Originally was a lifeguard and moved my way up to like their aquatics, fitness, recreation management. I loved the communities they got put in there. I mean, it was all ages. Not so much people seriously invested in lifting and exercise at that point, but it was still where I got my start. Personally, at the same time, I was doing powerlifting on the side, even though I was working in a completely separate environment when I went to work.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't dropping weights, you weren't playing loud music, you weren't doing any of that at the country club. But when I was powerlifting, complete opposite environment. It was like complete chaos.
Did you wear those old powerlifter pants that kind of, you know?
With the big old belt?
Do you remember those?
No. Well,
Come on, I wanted a picture to
from
put on
time
the
to time.
screen of you doing
Just
that.
checking.
Yeah, you
I'd
use
like
a-
an old picture just to put on the screen.
No crazy pants or anything.
Well, I just happened to have.
But no, I did want to do it competitively at the time. I thought I was doing very, very well for my body weight, which is how they usually measure that. But yeah, I was going to do it competitively. And as I started getting a little bit older in it and doing it longer, 5 or 6 years in, I started developing a couple different, like I mentioned, a couple different things with that. But it kind of pushed me towards the medical, I guess, side of it. It started to get me interested in that. I didn't think I would even be interested in that.
Yeah, when you're
But it
younger, you
started-
don't think about that at all.
No, so I actually looked for a while through college. I was looking at possibly doing like a physical therapy or PA or OTA, one of those. But yeah, I ended up going to, I was at Ohio State for first couple of years. And then
Go Bucks.
Yeah.
You're a man after our own heart.
Yeah.
You could say national champs behind that if you want. Sorry.
National champs, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, then switched over to Youngstown State where I finished out. And I ended up with a degree in psychology, but I swear it has helped me relate and
for sure.
and manage people and understand personalities and stuff. So I really, I got into that, and then I don't even know how to explain how I got this next turn, but I started looking into law enforcement, and I was going to be a state trooper up there. Went through the whole process and everything, only to decide to kill some time when I was on the wait list and come down here, and that's how I ended up bumping into Scott.
So you just came down on a vacation,
I came down,
or just transitionally?
well, a 3 to 6 month wait list time for the state troopers. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I was working at the gym. Again, we're talking about community.
Yeah.
I knew while I had couple other jobs that might have been more well-paying, I knew working at the front desk at the gym, I would meet so many people and meet all kinds of people and help me get some connections to hopefully break into the area.
Yeah.
And just have a good time for 3 to 6 months till I'm waiting to get the phone call.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit and delayed all of that. Shut down classes for like a year.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I was here and I just grew to love Pulseology and what we were building there.
Wow.
Had you ever been to the area before?
Yes. Yeah. Probably like most people, once a year, every year.
Vacation.
Isn't that funny?
Everyone from Ohio comes here for vacation.
But it's always here.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Here
they
in
don't
Myrtle
go
Beach.
anywhere else.
It's always here.
They come back. It's
It's the nicest.
they're like the
It's got to be
It
the
is.
nicest beach on the East Coast, most of the East Coast, I think.
Yes.
I haven't been too many of those.
If you like the vibe,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because there's those people that sort of Myrtle fits them, and that's great.
Right.
We like Myrtle, but you're right. It's as far as just a chill.
I like how it feels like an island still.
Yeah.
It's not over commercialized.
Yeah.
It's a big fan of that.
So is that what drew you here?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
The outside, the outdoors, the lifestyle.
I just like to be outside all year round.
Yeah.
And this is definitely the place to do that.
Yeah.
Besides the last 2 days.
Yes,
we
of
had.
course.
The once in a 30-year
I know, right?
Chance.
snow that we just had.
I was like, it's been 6 days. We still got snow. I'm like, this is
And
gotta
that's
be a
not
record.
normal.
Yeah, not normal, everybody. It's not.
First 2 days were great. I mean, we do it Southern style. We go down the golf course slopes on boogie boards. I mean,
Perfect.
it's
Unbelievable.
perfect. That's how
Sides
we
of
do it in Hilton
highways, there's
Head.
people doing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
sledding
down the
everywhere.
cross
Yeah, they were.
island.
I had
Never
a
saw
friend.
snow.
I saw on Facebook, JT.
Yeah.
He was snowboarding down the bridge.
Cross Island Bridge.
The Cross Island Bridge. He was snowboarding down
That's
the street.
awesome.
Gosh,
That's
on
how we do it around
skimboards
here,
and
right?
stuff. Yeah.
Island life, man.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
So that's good. Okay, so that's how you two connected. And then, with the Pulseology, I'd like to talk about that too, because it's
Can
more.
I pause you for a second?
Yeah.
Because we haven't really discovered Scott. I mean,
Okay.
for your background, you were in the military. Don't worry
he's
about
not.
that. It's okay. One thing I didn't know about you was that you're an OG from Hilton Head. I mean, you lived here and then you moved away, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up on Hilton Head when I was really little.
Yeah.
First grade, we moved to Spartanburg, grew up on a farm there.
Yeah.
And then joined the Marine Corps at 17. They took me up to my summers. I still came to Hilton Head
So
for a
that you
month or
came
two,
back
that kind of stuff, with my aunt and uncle. And 17, Marine Corps took me up to Washington, D.C. I was stationed at 8th and I for 5.5 years. Met my wife there, went to college afterwards at George Mason, got my business degree, then personal trainer in Gold's Gym world.
Okay.
Did that, moved
wow.
up into management, was headed towards regional.
Yeah.
Decided the corporate world wasn't for me. And
I could not see you in the corporate
No,
world.
yeah.
No, I did. Yeah, I liked
Yes. They don't do hoodies.
It was too like, this is the way we're gonna do it, and I'm like, but we could do this, and it could be so much better. And
Yes.
so I left and did my own thing. I had my daughter at the time, and that kind of changed perspective of life completely. We needed to come back south. My family's here, her family's in Florida. Looked around in Hilton Head. Why would you go anywhere else? So we ended up here and started the first business and grew it from there.
I love that story because, I mean, a lot of people think coming to Hilton Head is all retirees, right? And with the show, we've been talking about how it's not just retirees, it's families just like us, just like you guys, that want that lifestyle for your children, you know, and the connection. Yeah.
So when you were growing up, do you remember, what do you remember most? Because 6 years, you're still kind of young.
I'm still a little, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember much?
That's young. I mean, I definitely remember walking down the sidewalks at the beach, and we live going to the same beach that my aunt and uncle live on now in Coligny, and going to Coligny shops when I was little.
Yeah.
And then I was a skateboarder in high school, so getting kicked out of there. And
Do we dig deeper on that?
no, that's about the end of that. But,
Just checking.
yeah, no, I definitely remember the palm trees and the smell of Hilton Head and the beach. And that's what I wanted.
It is a smell, right?
Tell us about the smell, because we talk about this all the
do,
time.
actually.
I've never said that out loud before.
No, it's funny though, because when I say it to people, they're like, the smell. I'm like,
it's like the salt. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's the
like
fluff, man. I'm telling you.
once you just know
the marshes.
you know where you are.
Yeah.
Like when we leave and we come back, like we were in Bossier for the World Series, actually, Louisiana. You know, and it was cool. I'd never been that close to Texas. We'd been to Houston, I think, once. But when we came back and we drove from Savannah Airport, and you're like, when we rolled down the windows, like, yes, that's home. You can just,
Yeah.
You do smell it.
You do.
It's kind of funny. Weird, but hey.
Yeah, weird. I should have said that.
At least we pulled something out of
Yeah,
it.
there you
Scott,
go.
that you've
There's the
never
episode.
verbalized.
Yeah.
Hilton
I
Head
am going to
smells.
put a subtitle.
Never before seen.
So what got you into fitness? Were you always in fitness, or did, just like Chris, did you find it? You know, how did you get
No,
into
that started, I was in the Marine Corps. So
Okay, so
business was
from
forced
there.
upon me, whether I liked it or not, right? And then I got personal training certifications while I was in there to work with
Okay.
other Marines and that kind of thing. And that just developed over time. Once I did a lot of that stuff while I was in, then I was in college. I did a lot of boxing. I started boxing for
I heard you quite,
years.
quite a good boxer.
Don't mess with Scott.
Yeah.
I did that. I loved the boxing, especially one, it was like real boxing, like in the ring fighting kind of thing, but just the conditioning aspect of it, which is what we do a lot of over at the gym now. We have small group training classes and things like that for boxing, not hitting each other, but just the bags and the conditioning side of it's really cool.
Yeah.
But that was my start between that and then personal training, and then did a lot of training.
So did you always have a sense that this is kind of going to be your pursuit and passion in life, was to open up your own gym? And did you always have an entrepreneurial vision for yourself, or where did that come from?
No, I wouldn't say that it was from the beginning. Like I was, not that I don't love it now.
Yeah.
No, the Marine Corps was what I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life.
Really?
But then once I got in, and the lifestyle is not for everybody. I probably would have stayed in potentially. I don't know, but I was infantry, so we still did the training for that as well as in the honor guard. So I had back issues, L4, L5, like half the people in the military. So I had to do lots of therapy at Walter Reed, and that I was honorably but medically separated from the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And then the new journey begins after that. Just like Chris, I was looking at becoming a physical therapist because I was interested in that. How do I help myself, help others kind of thing?
Yeah.
And that's probably what trickled into it.
Oh, that's really neat. And that's obviously why Pulseology is like it is. And I think that's so critical for this area, because when we talk to clients coming in, we always explain to them, you're not moving here to retire and die, basically, not to be raw. You're moving here to be revigorated, get refired. And your business is just part of the Lowcountry lifestyle, right? So that we can live that lifestyle that we want, the outdoors, the
100%.
kayaking, the golfing, the tennis. So I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to finish that, the entrepreneur side didn't even start until even the business school was looking towards like management and that kind of stuff. And it was when I was really involved at a higher level with other organizations and saw how it's set up, which I understand how it's set up that way, but it wasn't what the impact I was looking to have.
Yeah.
So that was the big deciding factor. If I'm going to get out of here, I'll take what I've learned from all this and try to do it. I'm going to call it the right way. So we don't lock people in contracts. We don't do slimy sales tactics. We provide a quality environment with quality everything. And if it fits for you, great. If it doesn't, then that's fine too. But that's kind of, we put our focus in doing what we say we're going to do versus how do we trick the next person in there kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that comes across. Like you get a real sense that you guys are genuine in that it is about helping a human become whole and holistic, and it isn't always driven by the numbers and the dollars and all that.
Definitely personal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's being a part of the community.
100%.
Yeah. Do you dive into that? Because I can see you're really touched by that. That's like passion right there.
No, I'm serious. No, like I said, for me, it was personal. It was very, very personal. I've been to a lot of physical therapists, a lot of chiropractors, just seen a lot of people.
Yeah.
To try to fix my powerlifting issues that I went through. The amount of people that I felt like were just trying to see me, just to build the insurance, was staggering. And for me as a kid growing up, thinking that naively, I thought everyone has your best interest at heart. Everyone's trying to help you. And to learn that the hard way and figure out, 2-3 years in a chiropractic, and you're like, I'm not better. And I haven't improved. Like, how do I fix
And my
this? And I'm
doctor hasn't
23.
asked me.
And they don't care. And they're just like, and 3 times a week. I was going 3 times a week at 22, 23 years old. And it's like, what am I doing this for? And I didn't ask myself that question for a while. And just assumed it was going to get fixed. And so it did become very personal. And it became, we're going to do it, but we're going to help people. We're going to genuinely fix people and give them the place to, and if we can't do it, be on it. We're honest about it. We're transparent. Like, hey, I'm not sure what else to do for you. You might want to try here or there. We're not out, we're not against recommending something else if it can help you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you do refer out to other businesses in the area.
Yeah, if you need help beyond, I was just talking to someone the other day that we're talking about stuff that is so beyond what PRP, I think it's called, or exosome, and stem cell.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was doing my own research on that with the guy from the gym that has a doctorate in a lot of this stuff. Yep. And he has his own experiences actually on a board of a hospital down in Mexico that does stem cell.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I introduced him to one of our members that's also trying to track down what to do at a loss of what to do. And that's the cool part of the community. He sat down with her and helped her figure out a plan to get her shoulder fixed. Yeah. Yep. That's going to actually help her and not just bill her for all her money, her life savings. And
it's so funny because I feel like you probably felt it too. I felt that you hit a point because this is really us. And I think the experience we've all had, which was growing up, all these institutions and professions you thought, of course they've got my best interest. Yeah. And I don't want to say it to where anybody's listening, like you don't want to disrespect, but you do. I hit a point one time where it dawned on me, like, this is their business. Like, it's their profession. Like, they're doctors, but it's also, and then, because what hit me was you see I'm in sales, right? And I've been in sales my whole life. So I've seen all the systems. And then when you walk in, I remember one time when we got here, there was a chiropractor. And when I walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, like I know the system you're using. Right. I literally have gone through this and I knew I was going through his process. And by the time I was out of there, he was selling me this gun and selling me these things for my shoes. And
that's not to say that all chiropractic is bad.
No.
But be clear, because I've found really amazing ones.
I'm not going to fault them. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not faulting them and I don't blame them because look, they're trying to make a living and that's what they do. But you do realize that. So you're like, okay, I feel like we're at a place where some of that overarching, mechanisms that controlled a lot of that flow of information and process of how we do it is kind of breaking down. And like you look at like the biohacking community, like, do you know who Dave Asprey is by chance?
I've heard the name.
He's like the greatest biohacker on the planet, right? This guy's a great story, multimillionaire, Silicon Valley guy, weighed like 300 pounds. His blood was so thick at like 29 or 30, the doctor's like, you're going to die any second. And so he went on this journey of just figuring out how this all works and all these other avenues of wholeness and wellness and disciplines. And it's amazing when you can bring it all together. And I think there's a lot of people on that quest right now that I don't want to be on medication all the time. Yeah. I don't always have to be there's a way to kind of care and take care of the body is what I guess I'm getting at. And I feel like you guys
Things are changing.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's not a one thing. It's not a one answer to that,
Correct.
which is what we're creating and looking for. It's like we're not just a gym. Like we have 3 studios in there with 3 different 50 classes a week. We have personal trainers. They have in-house therapy.
And that's that's to help people with their various situations, right? That's exactly why you do it. But dive into that.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's peel it apart. Let's peel this onion. What do you guys do, and how do you help people?
Sure. I was just going to say also, but that goes for the medical side of it. We were just discussing 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
For me personally, there ended up being no solid solution. Like from one side, ended up being the mixture of massage, chiropractic, physical therapy, exercise with a trainer, and that's what we do, and that's why I became such a believer in our place and what we're trying to build.
Mm-hmm. And when you say exercise with the trainer, we can attest. We have a gentleman that we train with twice a week, and we've seen huge results because they say you work 50% harder when you've got somebody holding you accountable. Plus, and that step may be a little wrong, but plus you go. It's a consistency thing. You've got this appointment, you're paying somebody, you better be there and work out, So I just...
we met it before we met you, so...
we can talk about that later.
Sorry.
Edit that out.
I know. No. Well, and plus it's on island. For us, it is a little bit easier.
Convenience is important. Like you said,
it is.
That's why we have a whole team of trainers, because that was my starting point to Pulseology and all this, it started with just personal training.
So that's
all
how
we
it
were.
started.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the
Yeah.
foundation there.
Yeah. When we up and left and came down here, it was like quick. My daughter was 3 months old, and we drove all the way from DC to Florida for Christmas, and it's like, wow, kids are hard. This is hard. Our family's down here. We need to move.
Yeah.
And it was on the drive back 2 weeks later. We were in a car, leaving, put our house in the market. It wasn't sold, packed as much stuff in our car as we could, left everything else. I lived with my aunt and uncle, the whole family in their guest room while we started a business, which became Pulseology in what was Powerhouse Gym. So it's just the personal training in there. Built a great team, had other locations open up, did other venture stuff in the medical world, and then eventually took over the gym itself because Powerhouse was going out of business. And when he talked about his journey when he came, he was front desk with Powerhouse.
Okay.
And when they closed down, I had great timing, took over the gym, what was it, a month, 2 months before the COVID shut down?
I remember when that happened. That was a
like
quick
the worst.
Flip. It was
horrible
the
time.
COVID time.
Yeah.
It was like horrible.
So that's what he said too. If it wasn't for like his actual care and interest for Pulseology itself, the community and all that, he definitely wouldn't be here because it was a hard start.
I didn't want to work at a gym.
You didn't?
No.
I wanted, that to me was a little more one-dimensional compared to what I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah.
But when I saw what he's building with Pulseology, it was like, that's more all-encompassing, something that I want to be instrumental in.
And part of.
It's like you're providing a lot of on-ramps and helping people where they are. Because somebody may not need X, but Y works. And then may go with Z, all this stuff, but it's in one place where they can.
Yeah, that's why we have so many different people from so many different ways of life, and even just the training aspect alone. There is no cookie cutter. I've trained hundreds and had hundreds of trainers and thousands of clients that have gone through our programs. And if anyone says, "Oh, here's your list of what you need to do," that's not true. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And it depends on, like you said, some people need it just for the consistency of it. Like you might know everything. I've had trainers work with other trainers just to have the consistency and the focus and form correction and all that. So it has to be tailored to the individual.
Right. And it's funny.
So, you know what I love the most is I show up, I work out really hard for an hour, and I don't have to think about what I need to do. I'm just, for me, I need that in our life. Yeah. It's a busy life to add something else. Okay, I got to do 3 sets of 10 and these exercises and change it up because you got to change it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I just love the convenience. Me personally, that's a big thing.
And also how he's almost as in tune to our, like he'll notice
stuff
where we're at with maybe we're not something's going on. He'll be like, all right, we're going to shift it up. And we're going to go do this over here. It's a totally different discipline that day.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Where he's like as in tune to our body as we are, and constantly keeping us at peak.
Perfect.
So that's the power of personal training.
It is
for sure.
Yeah,
and it's good they know to do that because there's a lot of trainers around and call themselves that, but they are not all created equal. So
how do you choose your trainers?
That's a great point. How do you screen them in and bring them in?
Yeah. So I'm more on personality, right? Okay. So we have like a 5-tier interview process. So bring them through, and it would start with me, and just a conversation of why are they even doing it? Because I think that speaks volumes. Like most really good trainers that continue to do it for a long time and really learn start with a personal journey, typically, whether it was weight loss or injury or something like that. That's normally the driving factor because being a trainer is hard. It's not an easy job to do. It's not up. It's very micro detailed. You don't just hang out while you're doing it. So if you don't have that care for the person and the 30 other people that you're working with, then you won't do a good job, right?
Yeah.
And so I would talk to them, figure out their why story, figure out their level of knowledge. And even when I bring people on the team, it doesn't necessarily have to be the top tier education component. Now you have to have a top certification, NASM, ACE, ISSA, something like that, that'll show a foundation of knowledge. But then it would go into mock training sessions, right? Because you could be you could have a doctorate and be the smartest person in the room when it comes to the body and the medical. But if you don't know how to properly explain that to the client and do it in a way that they care and know what's important in that time and how you progress over time, it won't work. So it's getting those factors. And once we find the right person that would also embed into our vision and our team and everyone works well together, then that's kind of what creates a good approach.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
love
anybody
that.
listening, I mean, that should give you, some peace of mind of knowing that this just wasn't somebody because they were willing to show up. They went through a process.
Yeah.
And
it's always growing.
I love what you said about they fit into your team, because that's the culture that you're creating, and that's what leads to the ultimate gym culture, right? Of what you're bringing. So I love that. And I know I've said it before, but I think that's such an essence of Lowcountry. The difference here, living in this area than, say, a Charlotte or some
Urban,
other city.
yeah.
That's just such a characteristic of this lifestyle,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about I would really love to drill down more on this specific, because you have a wider range of things that you do and you provide, and who out there are they for in the community? And, is it for the moms? Is it for, I know we've got a whole wide range of clientele, but tell me about the services and kind of who would be attracted to it.
Sure. I think it's...
That was for you, Chris.
I think it's a little... That's fine. I think it's a little bit like we talked a little bit about ETC and how it has the younger crowd, at least at the gym side. And it also depends on what time of day you're there. I mean, you might come in the morning and it's everybody, food and beverage crowd, it's retirees, it's a good mix. And then there might be other times where it's 12 to 4 might be just your retirees only in an older community. And then in the evening, you might have 20, 30, 40-year, and then lots of people in all ages in classes.
Okay. So it's pretty mixed.
I mean, our Group X schedule consists of like Les Mills, body pump, body combat, Tabata, kettlebells, kickboxing, Zumba.
Slow down.
we got
what is all that? Yeah, because I'm going to have to put in, have the editors put in
Can you edit the captions on
the captions. That's exactly it.
The Les Mills, let's start with it. What's that?
What is Les Mills?
Oh my gosh. They have, it's basically a brand of classes from, I believe it's New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. For today, it's New Zealand.
It's New Zealand today.
And that's the thing, we can edit that too.
So I believe it's New Zealand.
We'll have your AI put in there where it's really from.
Just be like fact check. Yeah,
exactly.
Fact check.
Yeah. So it's a brand of classes though, and they do everything from cycle, yoga. They have their own versions, call it. So you go anywhere in the world, whether it's Europe or you're here in the United States. If you see Les Mills body pump, it's going to be the same body pump that you took no matter where you're at.
Okay.
So it's a certain standard and a certain type of class that you know what to expect.
Okay. And then, so you obviously has a lot of following, so people are looking for that.
Yeah. They do a really good job in structuring the quality of the classes, the way they're designed and all that, which is why we have them.
Okay. So it's like a top tier product.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Zumba. I believe most people know what Zumba is, but it's awesome. We have tons of classes and we're actually getting ready to add a couple more.
So is that pretty popular though?
Very.
Can you explain to me, because I've never had done a Zumba.
What did you say?
He's going to demonstrate.
Zumba's just dance, basically?
Dance exercise, but and there's modifications to all the movements. So depending on, what we've actually different classes. I mean, it all depends on the instructor as well, but depending on which instructor you get, or even if you go to one that might be a little more advanced movements, there's modifications to everything. So there really is no, hey, what's a good beginner class? You can always get in there and you might not want to be near the front, but
that would be me at the back. I got no coordination.
But everyone is super friendly. There's not going to be like, oh my gosh, like that person isn't doing right. Yeah, everyone's super welcoming, friendly, and they want to help you.
Because I think that's part of why people don't come, right? They get nervous to walk into a gym.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
No, I think we foster a pretty good environment of just everyone's welcome. Or at least that's the message we're trying to send.
Yeah.
The yoga classes, bar classes, cycle, and Pilates. We do mat Pilates as well.
Wow.
So again, never done. So Zumba is, I take it, that's like a low impact sort of, that's the point of that.
Cardio kind of.
Pilates, I hear Pilates is pretty intense. Is that right? Is that like
stretching, mobility?
Is that what that is? Or?
Yeah, stretching mobility. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be pretty intense.
Okay.
And then bar is also pretty intense, but again, modifications to all of these. Bar is, you're gonna have to. I can't explain it perfectly. But it's a lot of pauses, a lot of
isn't it balance?
holds,
a lot of balance.
Almost like a Tai
high
Chi
repetition
type of thing.
We have that too.
Of course you do.
Yeah, we do have Tai Chi. Yeah, it's a little more intense. It is intense. It can be intense, but again, there's modifications to all the movements.
Right.
But you'll definitely get a good workout doing bar at our place for sure.
People think like the slower things like yoga and Pilates and bar, it's the easy.
No.
It is not.
All the classes can either be
It's as much
not
as
intimidating to where it can be modified, like Chris said, or if it's easy, it's just, if you do it right, it's not going to be. It's as hard as you push yourself.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, like anything else, what you put into is what you'll get out of it.
I was just about to say, that's what we tell these boys all the time. What you put into it, you're going to get out of it, you know?
And the classes are just like a piece of, like you said, we have 3 different studios in the gym, 50 different classes throughout the week that you can be a part of.
And different times, right?
Different times, especially mornings, and we're about to add more in the afternoons. We also have small group personal training with only up to 8 people in its own private room with a trainer that runs that. It's more of like a HIIT style, and that's where the boxing will be. That's a piece of it, right? And then we have childcare to where you can drop your kids off and go do the class, which is
that included in membership, or is that a perk?
Yeah, we have like 3 different levels. It's either just the gym, right, which 24-hour access, and that would be all the equipment and all that kind of stuff, which in 2 weeks we have all brand new equipment coming in. So the whole
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's that or the club membership, which is like everything else. And then there's Ultimate, which is the small group training too.
Infrared's,
and that's because you have infrared saunas too.
That's part of our club membership too.
I saw that in the membership.
Classes, childcare, 24-hour access, infrared saunas. And
massage therapist, that's not included in the membership.
We have massage therapists.
Separate service, but and our massage therapist is phenomenal.
Because I was going to ask, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's okay. I just want to talk a little bit about her because we are actually currently trying to build her book. She's new with us, but she's not new to massage therapy.
Okay.
She's been in massage therapy for 23 years though, and she was a nurse for 36 years.
Okay.
So she is extremely experienced with the medical side as well as, for someone like me, like I was mentioning with the things I was trying to solve with my hip and low back, shoulder, she's like been instrumental in my recovery and mobility.
Yeah.
I
don't think people put enough weight on massages.
Yeah,
I mean, we can tell when our body's ready for one. I mean, it's like every month, if you don't do it, the body's aching.
I think there used to be a negative stigma
serious.
that it's just for relaxation.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, we actually go to one now, and she does
acupressure massage.
And, I mean, obviously you want a massage where it feels good, but like when she gets you and she hits a spot, it hurts like at first, but then all of a sudden you feel like it'll be a release down in your leg that you didn't even know was there. And you're like, oh my gosh. And she can just pick it up and be like, oh, this is going on. And she'll go up over here and
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think having that medical background is so important because there's so many veins and vessels that need to be massaged, I guess. Yeah, made loose so we can move.
For sure.
Remember, we're realtors, right?
I know. I'm trying to find my words.
Right. But we're into all this stuff,
we have such a passion for holistic well care. If you couldn't tell, we light up with that because like you guys, I mean, I think when we moved here as a younger couple, it really gave us a vision of the future, of kind of where you go. I think when you're in a young city, you don't really think about aging. But when we moved here, we were like, okay, we have to take care of ourselves if we want that longevity, want that wellness. And diving into it, there's so much on the island that you can do to be preventative, to give you longevity. And that's what I think I love about what you guys are doing, because the massage is a huge part of it. Infrared. We haven't even started talking about the infrared sauna, how great that is too,
Yeah, it's all super important. I think, again, getting back to you want to do a little bit of everything. There's, I forget the saying, but you want to do a little bit of everything to have that best outcome, I think, and the best lifestyle to get the lifestyle you're trying to achieve.
That's right. That's exactly
everything
right.
in moderation.
And that's why we circle back to quality of life, because like you said, that's becoming a more popular idea, is to prevent these problems, start that lifestyle, start doing these things and building that foundation so that you age gracefully, or whatever you want to say, to keep doing the same things that you're doing. But otherwise you wait for there to be a big problem, hopefully recover from that problem, and then try to do it. And it doesn't work as well.
It's just too late at that point, honestly.
If you don't make time for it now, you'll have to later.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And why are you not enjoying the time now?
Right.
Versus or is working on it later to enjoy time. I mean, Dave and I talk about it all the time. I would rather spend a ton of money up front now than on medications later where I'm not enjoying life, period. I'm just trying to stay alive.
We hear it.
I don't want to just be alive to be alive, right? You know what I mean? I don't want to just sit there and be like, hey, I'm 89, but I'm just sitting there all day long. Like we play tennis with people in their 80s. I played tennis with two guys. One was 77, one was 81, and they're kicking the snot out of me on the tennis court. Like, that's what I want to be right there.
I could make a comment, but I'm not going to say anything.
It's not real hard to kick the snot out of me on the tennis court.
I'm teasing. He's actually pretty good.
No, it's points well taken, though. I mean, that's part of the cool thing about this community. I mean, you got all ages playing pickleball and tennis and all that. I mean,
I think the area attracts. I think that's. Would you find that too with your clientele that they have that mindset, that
like an active mindset? Of course. I think that, like you said, they're here for a reason, right? You can sit inside wherever you came from, but people are here because it's like-minded. It's that let's stay active, whether it's like you said, tennis or pickleball or whatever, golf. Obviously, when you said golf, that's like huge here. But it's that mindset they want to keep doing for sure.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about, do you guys? Because I went into this biohacking thing. Are you guys into that at all? Those movements? Are you?
Somewhat, yeah. Still doing a lot of research and looking into stuff. But Andrew Huberman, I don't know if you know him, but I listen to his stuff often. And still learning and diving into a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So where do you see like technology and because we're moving into this world where it feels like you got AI and you got a lot of stuff, people looking at the body, studying things. You got the food, you got nutrition, you got all these things. Where do you see, Pulseology in that messaging on bringing that to people? And where do you see technology impacting us going forward? Do you see anything on the horizon with that?
Sure. I'll take it. Sure. From the technology side, Pulseology is always growing, right? We're going to be expanding out. We're looking for that. Anything that can make the experience in Pulseology or the member base better, depending on like what it is, we're always looking. So I'm never going to say no to anything. Right. From the technology standpoint, we have a Fit3D, which does 3-dimensional shadow imaging, postural analysis, and weight, just like all these metrics that is free for every new member that comes in. So we do like initial consults, see what's your goal, what are you trying to do, how can we help? Let's do this. It shows a good baseline. Good luck.
So what is it? Yeah. What is it? Break that down a little bit. I've never heard that. What is the Fit3D? Do they stand in something?
Sure. So you stand on like a platform and you hold the handles, and it has all the tablet in front of you that you make your own profile. So every profile is special to just you. So if you do it again in 3 months or 6 months, it'll do data overlay. And it takes 30 seconds. You stand on it, it circles you around, it does all the cool imaging. And it's not just the data of body fat and all that kind of stuff. It does 450 laser measurements, so exact left and right bicep differentials and things like that to show muscular imbalances. We use this with personal training a lot, right? So it gives good, like, I think what I'm doing is working, is it? That kind of stuff. And what I like best about that versus other ones is the 3-dimensional shadow. All right, so it's like on your profile, it 3-dimensionally shows how you look. And then when you do it again, it'll overlap them and show
the improvement.
So you can actually see the change in your body. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yep. So we have that. We utilize that. We have our custom app. So you can sign your profile up. You can access your scanner card if you lost the one after your key to scan into the front door and inside the gym. Yeah. We use that for all of our classes. So you pick what's the schedule and you can see it, pick the class that I'm trying to go to. And then it even opens up an outline of or layout of the gym floor or the studio floor and has them all numbered, which we have in the class itself. So you pick your spot. Wow. So if you're trying to hide in the back, like you're saying, you pick that.
It's my spot.
Yeah, no peeking through the window trying to figure out, can I fit over there? Yeah,
that was a big,
it's all set up.
And that's a big gym problem because people, they'll like have that cluster, they get to the door, it opens up and run in to get your spot. Now you book your spot. So
that's not really cool. So you're booking a spot in the studio.
Yeah. Right.
So what happens if someone stands in my spot that I booked?
We kick them out. No, we don't have that issue. Everyone knows.
So everyone is respectful.
Right.
It's part of the community.
Right.
Yeah.
It's understood. A lot of the, especially that class culture, they all understand and know each other, that kind of thing. And it's a good, with other like studios, a lot of times you're going there just for that one modality, right? Whether it's yoga or spin or whatever it is, which I'm not saying everything's good. We believe more in a variety, right? Whether it's personal training, it's not establishing muscle memories. We're switching up what we do. Same with the classes. You can have, I like Zumba class. That's great. I burn calories, that kind of thing. But it's being able to flop around and do other things as well to have that full impact on the body. And what happens is they come here with the comfort zone of classes. And after they're here and they see other people and they start talking and then they venture out, maybe it's with help from trainers or on their own or other friends, then they venture out and start doing like the strength training stuff to keep the body strong.
And the comfortable atmosphere you've already used
to.
And accustomed to.
Developing the relationships.
Yeah. Which is super cool to see.
Yeah.
Do you feel like is that like something that, because, I've been in a lot of gyms and that's not always the case. And I'll give an example. I mean, a certain purple gym that's everywhere. Sorry. But it is definitely more transactional, it feels like. It sounds to me like yours is more truly a community.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Is that organic or is that coming from just your passion?
100%. And to be honest with you, we hear that every day. That's one of the biggest differences in our club versus others. But we really build that. We're big on that community aspect for sure. And we are really here for you. Yeah. No matter what your needs are.
I don't think you can force that either. You can't force that into your business model. No. It's real. It's the way, I'm just going to say, I think big part of that is in our gym too, we don't have salespeople. No one has commissions. There is no goal metrics that you have to hit. All of our focus goes on what are we creating for the community? Where's there a need? How do we fill that need? And we go from there.
You do that well.
Well, and I was just about to say, can I give you some kudos? Because speaking exactly to that, I mean, Scott and I started talking about homeschooling, right? When we homeschooled Shiloh for a while. And another mom and I were like, we need to add physical fitness into this school curriculum. Who was the first person I called?
And I stole your idea and ran with it.
Not even that. I love that you did
the community.
That. Exactly. There's a need.
That's the difference. Is like you do. And what I love is you are like in our baseball community. Like you're a part of our community. Like it's very much a part of it. So it's different.
You do serve a part. You do serve the community very well.
But you don't quite get always on maybe a national brand. Yeah. Like you said, that's more corporate-y, which is fine. It has its role. But that's what I love, like why you're here. It's like, this area is a community, and it's for me, it's the neatest community I've ever been a part of personally. But I think you guys fill that role really well.
Yeah.
With that.
And in their defense, that's like big business across multiple different areas. Right. How do you fix it? The only thing we care about is what's going on in Hilton Head and Bluffton. Yeah. Maybe OKD coming in. Yeah. What does this area need and how can we help that?
Yeah. That's it. I agree. That's good.
That's exciting.
It is very exciting. So I want to hear some success stories. You got any stories that you want to share about somebody who maybe came in a really rough place and you've journeyed with them?
Jeez.
You got this one.
Okay.
I've heard them. I know. We got lots.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Just to inspire somebody out there.
Yeah, someone who's looking, who's new, who's looking, wants to get connected.
Struggling.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I'll lead with is literally any age you are, there is no too old. Let me start with that.
I love
no matter how old you are, I have seen everyone, including up to, at this point, I'll let you know if it goes higher, but 96, completely changed their quality of life based off of their routine exercise 96? And community, though, and social environment. Yeah. That stuff's important.
Well, it's holistic, though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Your service. And that might be just as important as the actual exercise itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The mental health.
I have my own personal crusade to figure out why certain people seem to do so well longer than others. Yeah. And what I've noticed is you have to have purpose. You have to have social relationship. You have to have that social aspect, and you have to keep moving and stay exercising. And every single person that I've met that's doing well past the normal age that most people start to falter a little bit, they're all doing those things, and they're doing them well. And I have a 96-year-old lady named Jackie who she just had a birthday. Actually, her birthday's coming up in this September. She'll be 97. Wow. She comes 3 times a week. She rides the bike. She talks to us, lets us know. She actually works on our HOA board still.
So
It keeps a
mentally
very
all there.
active, successful lifestyle. And she actually didn't retire till she was 89, by the way.
That's outstanding.
So she's doing phenomenal.
See, it's possible. I think those stories are so key for people to know in their 65s, just retired. Now what I do with my life.
Right.
Okay, that's just the beginning of this other half, really.
Right.
You know?
And I think when you retire, there is this like expectation that, okay, I did it. I get to sit and like hang out and do nothing. And I think that's probably the worst thing you could do.
And that's what we tell our clients all the time.
Yeah, worst thing you do is sit around and head to the bar every day.
Yeah.
Because I know being here, that's the one thing. You do like to drink a little bit more.
It's part of the lifestyle.
Right.
But you're right, because that'll send you down here quicker than anything else.
100%.
Yeah.
So you got any other ones to share with us? That was awesome.
I mean, just the other day I was talking to a opposite end of the spectrum, an 18-year-old that's down currently 73 pounds.
Wow.
And he actually just entered our transformation challenge we're doing. We just have our second wave coming up February 8th.
Tell us about the transformation challenge. This is some breaking news.
Something else, if I could add, you guys are really good at is being part of the community. So and these challenges, and
you got a 5K race coming up,
which we want to talk about.
Let's talk about some of that. What's this transform? What is that?
Well, this is the third or fourth year we're doing it, and it's all ages. We have a very small sign-up fee to get you involved and make you accountable that you got him.
Skin in the game.
Yeah, skin in the game, exactly.
Yeah.
But we have, I don't know, we probably had 100 in the one last year, 100 people sign up for the one last year. And it's cool because you get to see, I'm like, sorry.
Don't worry about it. That's what editing's for.
Yeah.
They won't even see that.
Find your word and we just start again. Well, you're talking about the challenge.
Well, the transformation challenge. Because did you ever hear the Body for Life back in the day? Bill Phillips?
Bill Phillips, Body for Life?
No.
Oh, you guys are way younger than us.
Yeah, right.
You're making me feel old
It
now.
was this cool thing, though. So it's this guy, Bill Phillips. He started a company called EAS, which was a supplement company, big bodybuilder guy. Okay. But he was like, he went from powerlifting to everybody can do this. And he created a thing called the Body for Life Challenge, where he gave you a daily breakdown of what to do, food, had a whole thing. But he would send out these videos, and they were very inspirational.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I did it from home. But now this was the 90s when you had VHS tapes, right? And DVDs.
Dating himself.
What is that?
I know, right?
Exactly. I don't know what you're talking about.
You do know. We went to Blockbuster, girlfriend. You guys don't know.
You know Blockbuster.
I did. I barely made that.
So anyways, I wonder if it's something, because I'll tell you,
tell us about the challenge.
So the challenge itself, we have everyone gets to meet with actually Scott for a fitness consultation to get use our Fit 3D machine, get your starting measurements and before photos.
Okay.
And then we definitely also don't just base it on body fat. So just because you lost, more body fat than the next person doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have the biggest overall transformation.
So is it on a percentage, based on a lost percentage, or?
Percentages, what would you say?
It's everything.
Yeah.
So what we've done with the transformation is it's changed every single year.
Okay. It's transformed?
It's thank you. That's great. Yeah.
It's a transformation.
Yeah, yes. I think you probably know this with Matt. I started with these transformation challenges with that other organization up north and did them on a larger scale for many years. When I was a fitness director, Matt was my assistant. Okay. And we would work on these projects together. And then we came down here. We started Pulseology and built that over 5 years. Matt had taken my job, and now he came down and runs the fitness department, a lot of the kids stuff and all that. Yeah. We've taken some of the modalities and ways that we did it there and implement it into our transformation challenges. For instance, this year, we split it up. We have 2 winners, 1 male, 1 female. Okay. All right. So even playing fields, whatever. We have a $2,000 value prize for each, all right, for whoever the winner is. And it's broken up into $500 cash, $500 for personal training, $500 to Healthy Habits, one of our partners in the community, and then $500 towards metabolic nutrition supplements, which we offer in that. So the idea is whoever wins, congratulations on your awesome transformation. Let's utilize this winnings and all this stuff to continue that journey.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The winners, we do, for everyone that signs up, we do a Fit 3D scan. What's your starting line, your baseline?
Okay. Yeah.
We do fitness consultations for an hour or whatever it takes with myself or Matt, fitness director, to ask any kind of questions, or what do I do in the gym? I'm brand new, whatever it is. If you want personal training, we have lots of programs to set that up, or just pick our brains, right?
Yeah.
We have dietitians on staff that we set up, and depending on who it is, that we'd meet with them like 20 minutes, just a little bit of quick nutritional advice, and then also handouts for that. And then we just kind of hit the ground running with those.
How long is it? Like, how long does the program? 8 weeks. Okay.
8 weeks. Yep.
So, and then based on their pictures, how much they've lost is how you determine
Everything. We'll narrow it down to 5 for
Wow.
each one, and then take that to an outside party, some other people in the
So
gym
they're
community.
doing their own
They would decide.
exercise, right?
Okay.
They're doing their own
Correct.
program. You're not setting that
And
up
when's
for
that
them.
starting?
Okay.
Some do it on their own. Some do programs
We do
with
offer,
us.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Now, when is that? Is that happening now, or is it, you said starting in February?
The first wave launched January 18th.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then the second wave will launch February 8th.
Oh,
Okay.
So we're doing a wave. So if
Different
you weren't
start
ready
time.
for
Each have their.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you do that every year
Yep.
so far.
Very
Next year it will
cool.
transform.
Yeah.
Transform.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Because by the time it airs, we'll have to wait for the next one to do it.
So, and then I saw something on the website about a 5K you got
Yeah.
coming up. I know it's near to your
golden
heart,
egg.
or the
Yeah.
golden egg.
Golden egg, yes.
You want to tell us
Golden
a little bit about that too?
Because this will be aired before that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be
Yeah.
other-
Yeah, perfect.
So we want people to come out.
So when you're talking about like our outreach to the community,
Yeah.
another branch of that we're working on
Yeah.
is doing 5Ks, or more so focused towards like family events. So it's not
Okay.
just a 5K where the extreme runners are out there. There are some that, but we're wanting to really cater towards families.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one specifically that we're doing, what is it this year? April 6th? That Saturday?
Yeah.
It's set up for that. We're about to put all the flyers out and everything.
And we'll put a flyer up for
Awesome.
everybody.
It'll be on Buckwalter. So we have a 5K component of that. There'll be the timers and the arches and come through the bibs. Everyone have their bibs, and it'll be like a legitimate 5K. It'll go on the road. It'll some through trails in the woods. So it's pretty awesome. It's golden egg, so it's themed around Easter, right? We'll have a lot of kids there. It's in that big circle out there. So we'll do Easter egg hunts with golden eggs, with baskets we'll give away. We'll have other tents and sponsors that'll have events and things around the circle, and we'll also have bouncy houses all set up there. We had like 4 or 5 last year. I think we have a couple this year. Yeah. We'll have the Easter bunny there, so the little kids will do like the catch the bunny run around the whole thing. So a lot of different things that's, again, catered towards the face painting. Yeah, It's always a popular one.
Yeah.
That it's not just there to run. You can do that. You can have a good time with your kids, or even walk the whole thing. Grayson did it last year.
So the kids are going to be part of the 5K, right? So they can walk, run with their family.
Yeah, we're really trying to push that too. It's not just there. Well, I can't run the whole thing. Oh, let's start wherever you can. Let's walk the whole thing. Do it with your family. Do it with your 5-year-old.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do it with Shiloh. See who wins.
What's funny?
Oh, you do know he'll be sprinting that
Oh,
way.
well, yeah. Don't give Shiloh competition. Because, I was already thinking, I was like, well, we're likely going to be on the baseball weekend that week.
Yeah, I think so.
And travel ball.
I'm just entered that world now.
Yes.
So
oh,
I'm ready
welcome.
for it.
Welcome, my friend.
It is.
I got it.
Spring is a busy time.
Riley does competitive dance. So between doing
Say
that,
it both.
starting softball now, and Grayson doing travel baseball, it's going to be busy.
But you know what, though?
I was going to say it.
Everybody would tell us in the beginning, oh my gosh, it's such a commitment. But you know what? It's the greatest. I tell you,
I think it's a gift
I do
you
too.
give them, because they learn about this teamwork, camaraderie in the dugout. They learn about
commitment.
winning, losing, the commitment, the hustle, working hard. If you work hard, you'll see the results. There's so many disciplines it teaches them. The teamwork side of things.
Plus
yeah,
the
I love
community.
it.
I mean, just
the traveling.
You spend so
That's
much
so much
time
fun.
with these people, and you become close, and it's a family.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I'm grateful, especially moving to another area. So, but
Well,
we're not
enjoy
here to
it.
talk about
It's
travel.
fun.
I love every moment of it.
So let's shift gears from the business and just talk about your lives here in the Lowcountry personally. Like, obviously you were here just a short period of time. You weren't from here, but you're both here now. what do you love? What do you love to do? Where do you go and play? Where do you go and eat? What are your things that you get in and do here? And just share from that perspective a little bit.
If I start, I mean, I spend most weekends, assuming it's not snowing,
Yes.
At the beach. Usually Saturday, Sunday mornings, I'll take breakfast and literally go either walk or sit at the beach.
Oh, wow.
What's your favorite beach?
I can't disclose that.
Yeah.
Then people can find
People
you.
will come. Yeah. It's taken a long time to figure out where I like to go.
So do you like to go away from the
Wait a
crowds?
minute.
I'm assuming
Away.
it's
Well,
away from the crowds.
Yeah, I mean, you're always around people. I mean, everyone's walking, riding their bikes in the morning, especially.
Yeah.
But it's my favorite time to be there. The morning is amazing. So that's what I like to spend my time doing on the weekends. I usually like to start my day like that because you get in the sun, you're exercise, you're walking down the beach, you're just getting your mind and body moving.
The sunrises on our beach are the best, aren't they?
The best.
Yeah.
Like, it is amazing.
Yeah.
Just, I love getting out there when it's still dark.
Yep.
And just, it's the best.
They say that vibration helps your body as well. That's why we love it so much. The vibration of the sun coming up is affecting you and the frequency, of it. That's why we love it. So, right,
But
so
you're
we have
still
the
not
beach.
going to tell us where that spot's at.
So the beach, early morning.
We won't push you.
I signed an NDA
Okay.
to get access. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to track you down. I'm going to find you.
That's funny.
So then what other activities do you like to do?
Well, I guess, like I said, for me personally, I loved being outside year round. That was one of my biggest drawbacks and things I didn't like about the North.
Yeah.
Being up in the North, I mean, I think I looked it up the other day. If you didn't know, I think it's 90 days of sunshine you get if you're in the Northeast Ohio.
Especially where we
Ohio,
are.
where we
well,
went,
I mean,
yeah.
you were sort of in that snow belt too. Like, I was just south of the snow belt.
Yeah,
but
we
you
get lake effect.
Yeah, the lake effect. I mean, it's just horrible. The gray skies and
I will
Still
never
overcast.
forget.
Yeah.
We lived there in Columbus for 10 years. And so, I'm from Zimbabwe, Africa, which is blue, sunny all the time.
Yeah.
It's very similar to this climate. Then I came here to South Carolina for university. I played tennis for university. And then he took me up north for 10 years. That first 3 years, I struggled. I literally had that depression from that heavy cloud. It was just awful. So, yes.
and I think that the length of time,
Yes.
because up there,
It's 5 months.
It's literally like late September to really like almost June.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. It
just
doesn't
so
start getting
long.
better till at the earliest May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, 'cause we have snow in April.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
And I think I got really tired of only feeling that good for that week I'd be down here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I
There's more
live
to
this way?
life.
How do I live a more full life that way too? Because when you're able to go outside year round, you go sit outside and have something to eat outside. I mean, it really is nice. You don't feel like you're trapped inside half the year watching Netflix. You get out and actually see people and talk. And I think that's part of that longevity factor we're talking about.
1,000%.
I think it's good for you.
And the vitamin D, you need it. Vitamin D, not vitamin. Vitamin D.
Proper. Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, that's, or at least for me, that's what I
So
I
that's
like
your
about
thing.
it a
You're just
lot.
really, so it's pretty simple.
I love
You
being
just-
outside. Yeah,
just being
I'm
outside.
simple. Yeah.
Pretty simple guy.
Yep.
Where do you like where are your favorite places to go and eat, go have a drink, go listen to live music?
Hudson's, shameless plug. Hey, Hudson's outside on the dock.
Yeah.
They have a little bar outside on the dock.
Yep.
Food's never disappointed me once. They always have fresh seafood. And the view is
I
awesome.
can't beat it.
I
Cannot
love
beat
Skull
it.
Creek.
Yep.
I mean,
And then-
we practically live down
We
there.
live at dockside.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, whole stretch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like getting I actually do a lot of cooking myself too.
Okay.
And I get all my fresh seafood from Benny Hudson Seafood
yeah.
Market.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The little market right
there.
outside.
Isn't it nice that it's bigger than just a walkway
Yes.
now? It's a
Yes.
nice
They
big
did a
store.
good job of it.
Yeah,
They did a
a
really
good job.
good
It's
job.
beautiful now.
I love
Yeah.
that rooftop bar. Yeah, it's really nice up there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rooftop bar is beautiful.
Yeah, it
The one They
is.
just added.
Yeah.
It's good. Scott, what about you? Outside of all the million things you do, running a business, got kids, travel, what do you do for you?
My weekends consist of whatever
Kids
the
camp.
kids have.
Well, right?
Yeah,
As
no,
a
which I
family,
wouldn't
what-
change.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's 100% what I
Amen.
would enjoy and want to do. It's we either have baseball practice or softball practice or dance convention or just something. It's something along those lines. And if it's not that, we love going to my aunt and uncle have a house on Hilton Head, right on down from Coligny. So we'll go crash their place, walk to their beach, bring the sand back to their house, eat their food, drink their wine, and leave. So it's perfect.
I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, no, it's great. And that's where Chris parks and walks down. So that's the beach that he was talking about.
No. I told you we'd find out.
Oh, man.
So that's where he'll be.
It's going out to the whole world now because this is everywhere.
It's going to be like drones flying overhead now, so trying to figure it out.
Where's Chris?
There's an even better one, more private. I'll tell you later off camera.
Okay.
Speaking of that, I found a spot. I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
We went to the shark. I forget the name of it. It's probably a bad opening, but the shark. They call it like Shark Tooth Beach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's a hunting island. Is it a hunting island?
I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hunting.
Went up
Yes,
there.
hunting
That
island.
was awesome. It's a small little strip, but went up there with the kids and found. I think we had like 70 shark teeth the first time we went there. But I mean, the little baby ones.
Yeah,
But still,
Yeah, but
it was
still
fun.
for a kid to
Hunting
pick up.
Island is like, have you been to Hunting Island?
Not yet.
Oh, I would.
my God. I've heard
If you
good things
want
about it.
private, quiet, that's where you go.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is awesome.
The one thing I would say is Mitchellville Beach,
Yes.
or ship. I don't even know what they call it. Is it Sea or
A
Fish
sea-
Hall?
Fish Hall,
Fish Hall.
Mitchellville. Yeah. We go, that's where we take the dogs.
Yeah, I was going to say it's an awesome beach to if you just want to go sit and watch the sunset or the sunrise or something. I mean, it's beautiful.
It is one of those few places where it is. You can get both sunset and
ends.
sunrise from the same beach.
And you actually feel like you're on the island. Like, some of the beaches, as they're getting busier, like Coligny, it's getting more popular.
Yeah.
If you go to Mitchellville or Fish Hall, it feels like you're still there.
Yeah.
You're on that island.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Have
That's a
you
good
guys
spot.
ever like ridden your bike or taken the kids out to Picnic? Thank you.
Out to the beach out there?
Have you ever been to that Ball Point Beach?
No.
I promise
Oh my
you, it
gosh.
is so worth. It's right at the end of Picnic, and it just opens up. You come out of the trees. You have to ride your bike down there because it's quite far. And we put up a hammock between the trees, and you just see the boats going by. This private beach.
Wow.
You don't hear a vehicle, you don't hear a person.
Nothing.
All you hear is the lapping of the
Yeah.
waves, maybe a boat, but you're just literally at the very tip of Picnic looking across your Paris Island.
Wow.
And
It's worth it.
it's just rustic. It's just this wide open beach right there.
It's looking at Paris Island.
I know.
I don't know. Great times.
For me, I mean, Paris
yeah,
Island is like,
right.
whatever. I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm here.
But honestly, with the kiddos, that would be a good place to take them. Because it's rustic. It
if
really
you want
is.
it
It's
quiet,
nothing.
I mean,
and
it's just
quiet.
so private
And-
back there. But
Not now. Once this,
Not
now. Once this airs, it's gonna be
Yeah.
packed.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know. It's quite a ways. People may not want to take the hike.
That is actually.
They have to bike ride.
Yeah.
So restaurants. What are some of your favorite restaurants?
We used to go to I like the Pearl a lot. If we're
Yes.
talking about like Bluffton, what was dispensary changed to what is it now? It was dispensary in Bluffton.
Agave.
Agave. I like that because it has
yes.
the outdoor seating area and
Yes.
that kind of stuff. It's really
Yeah.
fun with the kids. Again, it has to be like kid friendly when we're
Yes.
going there because we're always
Yeah, you're in that
It's funny,
world.
the two
Yeah,
different
yeah.
worlds.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet. You're like, what's that like?
yeah. Well,
It's funny.
what the
We
kids
literally
do.
get clients that come in and be like, we don't want to be anywhere near
we do.
kids. I mean, they literally will
We
tell you
don't
that,
want
like,
kids.
anywhere.
Yeah. No, and then what's that? Crazy Crab?
Yes.
I like that one because that's the playground, so the kids can go down there and
Yeah.
leave us alone for a little bit.
Right.
But
well,
do you
that's what
do
I love about
dockside?
Dockside.
Hey,
Yeah,
Dockside's
because-
famous for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just,
Yeah.
put a little Apple Watch on them and
Then run
let them
around.
go.
No.
Or you could drop them off at Parents' Night Out Friday night.
Now, how often do you do parent night? That's a good point. We didn't even talk about parents night out
Yep.
because that's an awesome. We
And
love
camps.
parent
We
night.
didn't even talk about camps.
So talk about that parent night. How often is that? Just
This
a
is at
random
Elite
thing?
Training
Or is
Center.
that
It depends on like holidays, so
Okay.
it's not like set. But we're typically doing it like every other weekend now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Friday nights, 5:30 to 8. It's all active fun, as we call it. So it's going to be dodgeball or indoor soccer, or capture the flag. I don't know, something. Ages 5 to 12, and like this Friday, we have dodgeball championships.
Yeah.
We'll do different themes sometimes, where
yeah.
it's football tournament or dodgeball championship.
Nerf
Gun Wars
Gun
is a
Wars,
fun one.
yep.
Not fun to clean up, but fun to play. Right?
Well, that's where you make the kids clean up to teach them the discipline.
Learn to do that, yes.
That's outstanding.
Hey, you just need a couple moms to give you some ideas on that.
After the first one, we learned, all right, how do we get them to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
You just make it a competition. Whoever brings back the most bullets gets
That's
a prize.
what Matt does.
Is that what he does?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he does.
Nice. I love Matt. I love Matt's personality. He's like perfect
It's
for that.
You can say that again.
That role.
This is like
He
perfect.
really is.
Yeah.
because he's just playing right there with them.
Right?
I know.
And
Everyone
it's
thinks
not
he's
even work.
working.
Exactly. Yeah,
He should be
he's
doing
not.
it
He's
for
just.
free.
He's
I agree. Let's tell him that. We'll tell him.
Hey, I was going to ask you, I'm going to kind of divert back because it just made me think of it for some random reason. Have you guys ever heard of like energy work with like machines as another modality for healing? So I'll give you an example. There's this machine.
The harmonic egg.
This one I'm talking about. It's called a biocharger. Okay. It actually was a friend of mine who invented it. He was really big into Nikola Tesla. And they called it the Tesla machine when I was a kid. But basically, it's this machine, and it works on light frequency and sound frequency and all this other stuff. I'm not real technical, but it's a machine you sit in the center of a room, and professional sports teams are using it, where you put your athletes around it, and if you're in a vicinity of it, it emits these healing frequencies because, we're made up of water and there's a lot of things going on. And it literally, you can tune it for your organs first at a cellular level to where it harmonizes cells. And have you ever heard of anything like that?
You mentioned harmonic egg. I've heard
this is different.
It's
Yeah,
Well,
the
it's
harmonic eggs are
similar.
along
I've
the
heard
same
of that.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar. Harmonic egg uses sound and
Sound
light.
frequency.
We actually, they're going to be our third episode release. But yeah, you sit inside of it, and it's sacred geometry.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the harmonic
The
egg now.
So
Yeah.
that's a different one. It was in Bluffton. They just moved to Beaufort, where you sit in like a zero gravity chair, and they have they create their own music specifically. Like it's very on purpose as far as what instruments they use and the frequencies they use and how they put it together, and then it echoes in this chamber and use light, and it harmonizes your body. I mean, have you guys ever heard anything like that, or is that anything?
Not that specific one, but I mean, the sound healing frequency has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's becoming, I think it's because of the whole like new approach towards health and wellness, and that everyone's focused on it, which is great. And yes, definitely, I'm hearing a lot about it. Not that one specifically.
Yeah. Well, this bio in charger, it'd be something you gotta look into, because I'm actually thinking about getting one, because it's like I said, major sports teams are using it now, and they're finding that these guys who have these injuries, they're going through their physical therapy, and they're sitting them in the room, and they're cutting their healing time down like weeks. Like literally what used to take like, an 8, 10, 12, 14-week injury is being cut in half, because they just sit around it, and it like heals their body internally.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to look into that. Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah,
Something
awesome.
else to add to the menu.
You just strike me as somebody who's forward thinking like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like I said, we would definitely, there's other things we're looking to bring on. And this in space is hard. Right?
Yes,
right.
it is.
But
love to look into red light therapy.
Yeah.
Yes,
cold
I
plunge,
love red light. Yes.
all that stuff. Yeah.
I bought him a gold plunge for his birthday. That was February last
How
year.
many times has he used it?
0. He's
Oh.
too scared for the
that
cold.
could have been episode 1. Why?
Missed
Listen,
opportunity.
man. When she bought it for me, I was like, I love you. You should have asked me first, though, because like this dude doesn't do cold at all. Like I left the cold. I don't want anything to do with the cold.
I thought even just for healing, because he was sore after working out. And I'm like, just cold plunge.
Dude.
I got to admit, I have never cold plunged. I'm too scared.
Do you guys cold plunge?
Well, if you'd like to
I
resell
have
it, let me
not, but I
know.
would definitely do it. I'll take it.
I'll
All
talk
right.
to you about that.
That's what you're saying.
What
I'll
did you
trade
say?
you for some advertising.
Oh, done.
It's awesome.
No, like Tony Robbins, Tony Robbins,
Yep.
like he's got one in his house that he does, and he jumps in every morning. It's got to be
crazy.
like 14 feet deep to fit him. But I think about it all the time, but I'm just like the thought, like who jumps in?
A lot of people do.
I mean, I don't do it regularly, but I've done it before.
Yeah.
And I would like to do it regularly. But again, it's I'm trying to figure out in my 1,000 square foot condo where that
How
would
you
go.
do it.
But I'm planning on doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he did say to me, "Why do I need a tub? Just fill up the actual bathtub and put
She
ice
bought me this
cubes in
thing
it."
I have
And
to
I'm
put
like,
together, and I'm like, "What do? You put it together, you fill it up with water and drop ice." I'm like, "It's called a bathtub." Like, why do I
I'm
need
like,
to
all
buy
right,
this?
whatever.
Fill
Even
up the
got him
bathtub,
special
throw
ice cubes
and
for
jump
it
in.
too.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress,
I
you
digress.
guys.
So-
No, it is really great
Yeah.
to have you guys, and thank you for sharing. I've learned so much about Pulseology, more than I thought I knew. You know, and I think the thing that I love the most is the community that you're creating. It just truly is representative of the Lowcountry.
Yeah.
You know, and what we are. So kudos to you guys.
I second that. I think that's what I just want to kudos to both you, what you're building. And we feel, because we use your services.
Yeah.
So Shiloh's been such a part of our life, and that what you're building and have built really, truly identifies with what the Lowcountry is about, which is this connection, this quality of life, this lifestyle. Yeah. And that's just not a normal business. Like, you guys are really a part of it. And that anybody who's thinking about coming here, and anybody this is on their radar, first stop should be Pulseology. You guys got to come in, say hi, and check it out. Because even if you got something inside your community, which most of these communities do, there's something about getting around like-minded people with the heart and the purity of which you guys approach it, and how you do care about the area. So hats off to you guys, and we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Awesome.
Good.
Hit the other one too. All right.